Merchandise is one of, if not the most effective ways to make money as an online content creator, which is why you see almost every popular YouTuber launch their own products, from basic printed t-shirts and hoodies to an entire pizzeria. But for every YouTuber product everyone loves,
not too sweet, nice and chewy.
It's plant-based.
And it actually tastes like blue raspberry.
9.4 out of 10.
there's another that most people can't stand.
That ain't freshly baked. You can't put the word bake and then satisfy the requirement for freshly baked.
I didn't know it cost you $3.
Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today, we're comparing the most loved YouTuber products against the most hated ones. And as you'll see throughout this video, there are a lot of factors that can determine the success of a product, including the YouTuber's reputation, the quality of the product itself, and how relevant it is to the YouTuber's content. And there's no better place to start this comparison than what's quickly turning into the most hated product in YouTube history, Lunchly. On the 16th of September 2024, three of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, MrBeast, Logan Paul, and KSI, teamed up to announce their new collaborative project, Lunchly. This was going to be a direct competitor to Lunchables, the boxed meal option for children that had been topping the sales chart for the last 35 years. The prepared meal market is worth over $46 billion in the US alone. So if Lunchly could even acquire a tiny fraction of this massive market, it would add hundreds of millions of dollars to the bank accounts of the three YouTubers behind the project. Now, you would expect something created by MrBeast himself and the two guys behind Prime to be an instant success. Unfortunately, for them, that's not how things went with Lunchly. It was already off to a rough start, as the announcement stream turned into a low-quality pixelated mess.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce you to Lunchly. Oh my gosh.
However, the real trouble for the new product started when Lunchly became one of the most mocked things on the internet. Within hours of its announcement, everyone was making fun of the announcement, including other YouTubers.
Vapely. Vapely is an all-new way to make fans feel good.
Dude, why does Logan Paul look like he's about to shit himself?
And every subsequent attempt to market Lunchly turned it into even more of a meme across social media.
I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
I like my cheese drippy, bruh. I like my cheese drippy, bruh.
But isn't turning into a meme good for a product? Something like Flex Tape wouldn't have been half as popular without the hundreds of memes that came out of its infomercials. The big difference here was that with Lunchly, people weren't laughing with the product, they were laughing at it. This on its own would have been enough to seriously tank the potential sales and future reputation of the Lunchly brand. However, there was a far greater issue plaguing Lunchly. It's timing. Put simply, MrBeast co-released Lunchly at the worst time possible. It would have been a massive success if it had launched 1 or 2 years ago. But as it stands, Lunchly was doomed months before it even became public. This is because the biggest name attached to the product, MrBeast, is currently under fire for a mountain of controversies that range from bad to absolutely terrible. It started back in July, when his closest friend and prominent member of the MrBeast crew, Ava Chris Tyson, was exposed for being a predator.
Ava Chris Tyson of the MrBeast crew is in the middle of a massive scandal right now as she faces allegations that she inappropriately messaged a minor.
And as if that wasn't bad enough, just a few days later, a former MrBeast employee known as Dogpack404 released a series of videos on YouTube accusing Jimmy of various heinous crimes, including allegations of running illegal lotteries with children, rigging the outcomes of his challenges, and worst of all, hiring a convicted PDF file and even featuring him in his videos.
Wearing a mask. Why would you wear a mask? Why would you conceal your face? It's like, what are you concealing? That you are a registered offender? And that your face could be looked up on a thing? How much more can you literally cover up a offender with a physical mask? Like, do I have to?
In addition to this, reports of abuse and mistreatment on the set of MrBeast's upcoming Amazon show have sunk his reputation even further. But that's not all. What makes this whole controversy even worse is that it's been over 3 months since Dogpack posted his first video, and Jimmy still hasn't made a single tweet directly responding to the allegations. But when Keemstar posted on Twitter stating, YouTubers are not happy with MrBeast, KSI, and Logan Paul's new product, Jimmy responded in less than 12 hours $100 defending his new product, reading, "Lunchables sells hundreds of millions of units and countless people eat it. Our goal is to give people a better for you alternative to it. Also, as we get economies of scale and can get things cheaper, we will only be improving the product more and more." Heart emoji. Where a user would reply stating, "I love how quick he comes to reply to this, but hasn't said a thing about perpetrating his best friend's habit of being a predator. What a beast." And while Jimmy's increasingly bad reputation is dragging Lunchly down with it, the other two YouTubers behind this project aren't making things any better. Logan is trying everything he can to market this new product, like using the birth of his first child to promote Lunchly, something most people see as extremely cringe.
Maybe I should show it to the world. Baby. Brand new. Oh, here we go.
Lunchly is now in stores.
With a comment stating, "He's literally subhuman. What even is this dude?" And while all of this was going on, KSI decided to somehow make things even worse by picking a fight with the wrong person. You see, when Lunchy was first announced, everyone and their mum was talking about it online. During this time, DanTDM also decided to chime in as well, with a tweet reading, "What happened to YouTubers, man? I can't not say anything anymore. This is selling stuff for the sake of making money. Simple. How does this benefit their fans? This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people selling it to them. Do better." This was a bit critical of the product, sure, but nothing too egregious. KSI, however, saw this as the worst thing ever and began attacking Dan in retaliation with tweets like, "Looks like crap to me," talking about some of the products Dan has released over the years. Even though KSI himself has worked with two of the companies he mocked in his tweet, he not only failed to see the irony of his tweet, but continued attacking Dan for weeks on end, even going as far as calling him a quote dumbass at one point. Now, for those of you who don't know, Dan is one of the most respected Minecraft YouTubers of all time. Millions of people grew up watching his wholesome videos and consider him a role model in their lives. So KSI snapping back like this was him inviting the wrath of these millions of loyal fans. And almost all of it got redirected towards Lunchly and his new song, with a Twitter user stating, "Please shut the f up. Like genuinely, shut the f up." Think of it was a shitty song because it was made out of spite because DanTDM was having an opinion on your Lunchables knockoff. A whole month of you being a childish moron. Do better, you piece of... In the end, KSI's ego-driven attack on Dan, paired with Logan Paul's cringe marketing attempts, and Jimmy's many controversies left a sour taste in people's mouths. Though for some people, this sour taste might not be metaphorical, and might have something to do with Lunchly itself. Because, as it turns out, people are also finding moldy cheese in their Lunchly boxes that is still many days away from their expiration date.
This is molded. That's mold. This is not safe, especially like kids that are so young. They may not know what mold looks like, so they might just eat it.
Could Lunchly make a comeback after all of this negative publicity? With enough time and effort, maybe. But as things stand right now, Lunchly is well on its way to becoming the most disastrous YouTuber product launch of all time. Now, this might lead you to believe that YouTubers launching food-related products are doomed to fail, but that is simply not true. Because for every Lunchly that everyone hates, there's a top of the morning coffee that people can't stop raving about. Sean William McLaughlin, aka Jacksepticeye, is one of the OGs from YouTube's Let's Play era. He's been making videos for 12 years now, and he's released several products during this time. However, none have been as successful or loved as his very own brand of high-grade coffee. And for good reason. For starters, it makes sense. Think of it this way, Lunchly as a whole has nothing to do with the content or even the personalities of the three YouTubers backing the project. Sean's launching of a coffee company in 2020, on the other hand, makes perfect sense since he's been an avid coffee drinker before he even started making YouTube videos.
It's finally here. This is not a joke. This is not a meme. I've been talking about this for a while, but I promise you this is not fake. This is actually something that I did. I made my own coffee company, my own coffee brand.
His high energy personality also plays well with the idea of coffee, which gives you the energy you need to go on with your day. Even with the name of the coffee, Top of the Morning, is a reference to the greeting he's used in his videos since the beginning. So the entire brand feels authentically him, and not just another soulless cash grab. Speaking of his authentic self, despite his many years on the platform, Sean has had a remarkably flawless career. The only quote controversy he got into was in 2023, when he talked about not liking MrBeast while taking a lie detector test.
Now, Jack, a completely unrelated question. Do you like MrBeast?
No. Oh, Jack. Oh! Do you think MrBeast ruined YouTube? Yes.
Now, in all honesty, Jack, why? Because it became more about views, money, and popularity than it did about having fun.
Jimmy replied to this clip on Twitter with a now deleted post which read, "So I quote ruined YouTube because I didn't buy a mansion and a sports car and instead reinvested my money into making content focused on doing good and inspiring kids to help people. If he had fun, the videos would be longer. What does that mean, lol? You think I'd give up every hour of my life for 14 years if I didn't have fun?" This clip is insanely disrespectful in my opinion, and obviously there is so much more I could say about his content, but I'll just take the punches and be the bigger man, sigh. And many people were on MrBeast's side with this. Some even accused Sean of simply being jealous since he's not as quote successful as Jimmy. However, things have completely changed since MrBeast got exposed in 2024, with comments that read, "He knew when they called him crazy, but he knew," as well as, "Bro actually called it, and the people who hated him deserve to apologize to him." The company also donates 1% of all sales to a charity dedicated to mental health support. All of this has resulted in Sean and his company gaining an even more positive reputation, all of which directly translates to sales. That said, all of this positive reception would amount to nothing if the coffee itself wasn't good. Fortunately, Sean hasn't skimped on that department either, as almost everyone who tries his coffee loves it wholeheartedly, with a commenter stating, "It is, without exaggeration, the best coffee I've had. I work for a red coffee chain and keep telling colleagues to try top of the morning coffee, and how it just blows this company's supposedly amazing coffee out of the water," as well as, "Jacksepticeye has made a brilliant coffee. I love starting my day off with this blend because it's so smooth and tasty. I just love this coffee." At the end of the day, what makes top of the morning coffee so good is Sean's active involvement in its production to ensure near perfect consistency. Without his involvement, it could have ended up in a similar situation to the universally hated MrBeast Burger. On the 19th of December 2020, MrBeast surprised everyone when he opened his very own fast food restaurant chain called MrBeast Burger. This was his first product that wasn't basic merchandise like t-shirts and hoodies, and the hype was real. The most surprising part about MrBeast Burger was the sheer scale of its operation. Instead of just opening a few key locations, Jimmy's new restaurant was going to open in 300 locations across the US. This ensured that the vast majority of his American fans had access to the burger joint in their vicinity, and people were dying to try it. Unfortunately, the hype train derailed spectacularly the second the MrBeast Burger became available on food delivery apps. MrBeast's new restaurant was riddled with issues, like extremely long delivery times. But this was somewhat understandable since everyone was trying to order at the same time, so people were willing to wait. However, as people started receiving their orders, new more serious issues came to light. The meat in their burgers was completely raw.
Come here, you. It's raw. It's raw.
Now, this is not to say that every single burger was raw, but enough of them were uncooked to start a massive wave of backlash online, with a headline reading, "This popular new burger chain is being called out for terrible raw food," and a user going to Twitter to state, "Was super hyped to try the MrBeast Burger, only to find my chicken sandwich completely raw. I expected better at MrBeast YT. Even when the meat was cooked properly, the burger wasn't very good."
This was my first time trying out the MrBeast Burger, and I was actually quite blown away at how bad it was. Fries weren't any good either. So next time you're looking on Uber Eats, save your money on this.
Despite these problems, MrBeast Burger appeared to be a financial success, as it expanded to over 2,000 locations around the world. However, the actual quality of the burgers didn't get any better, and kept declining even further. Unfortunately, despite the thousands of negative reviews, Jimmy had no way to enforce better consistency, as he was just the face of the brand. The business side of things was managed by a ghost kitchen company called Virtual Dining Concepts, and they were the ones responsible for the horrible quality of the MrBeast burgers, or at least that's what Jimmy told everyone. On the 17th of June 2023, Jimmy made a series of now deleted tweets blaming Virtual Dining Concepts for everything, claiming, "I started MrBeast Burger to help restaurants make more money during the pandemic, and it worked. But sadly, when working with 2,000 restaurants I don't own, it's impossible to guarantee the order quality. I'm moving on from MrBeast Burger so I can focus on Feastables and making snacks." And when someone asked if the MrBeast restaurants were shutting down, Jimmy replied by stating, "I would if I could, but the company I partnered with won't let me stop, even though it's terrible for my brand. Young Beast signed a bad deal. These tweets were also followed by a $10 million lawsuit Jimmy filed against VDC for not upholding their end of the contract. However, before that could make any difference, his partner company countersued him for making tweets that damaged their reputation, forcing him to delete them and stop talking about MrBeast Burger altogether. And while Jimmy looked like the victim in this whole ordeal, the damage to his reputation was already done, and many were not buying the powerless act, reading, "He's already made his money off it. He doesn't care about the quality. If he cared, he would have addressed it a long time ago." Recently, I introduced something into my life which has been a complete game changer and even allowed me to post videos more often, and that would be today's sponsor, I Wanna Gummies. I Wanna Gummies is a wellness brand which is currently offering $20 test kits for $200 worth of their product. Essentially what they have is they have gummies which either help you focus, think better, memory recall, or even wake up in the morning. I found that gummies are extremely effective, particularly the I Wanna Wake Up gummy, which I take every morning when I wake up, which helps remove the brain fog I normally have in the mornings from a bad night's sleep. They are seriously a game changer, and they're also tasty as well. I've tried a few different gummies which include ingredients meant to help you focus and help your brain function, but these taste the best by far. There's no weird aftertaste, and they actually just taste like normal gummies. Each product does exactly what it says it does. This one helps me relax, I have another one which helps me sleep, I have one which helps me wake up in the morning, and I also have one which helps me focus. These are seriously just great to add into your schedule and to just supplement your day. As a special gift for my audience, you can use code Anarchist for 40% off your first order. Make sure you check their website out in the description or the pinned comment. Now, let's get back into the video. And while the MrBeast Burger restaurants are still available on food delivery apps to this day, it's hard to deny that this was one of the biggest failures of Jimmy's career. Luckily, Ryan Train's partnership with Joyride turned out to be a colossal success instead. On the 13th of February 2024, Ryan announced that he was launching his own brand of candy strips called Joyride.
Hey guys, yeah, so this is me launching my new candy brand, Joyride. Isn't that a fun name? My face is on it.
And to say that this was an immediate success would be an understatement, with a tweet reading, "Hello Ryan, my daughter and I love Joyride," as well as, "I love Joyride so much, best YouTuber candy." They were practically flying off the shelves everywhere, with another tweet reading, "At Ryan Train, would love to try Joyride, but our target is sold out. Most people loved its many different flavors."
Let's try Ryan Trahan's Joyride candy. First up, sour blue raspberry. Not too sweet, nice and chewy. It's plant-based, and it actually tastes like blue raspberry. 9.4 out of 10.
A fan even made an ad for the candy because of how much he liked the product. That said, one of the most significant factors behind Joyride's success was Ryan's extremely positive and wholesome reputation. All of his videos are extremely heartwarming, and he's also managed to stay out of any major controversy that could damage the trust his audience has built over the years. However, the truth behind Joyride could have easily shattered his flawless streak. You see, from his announcement video, people got the idea that Ryan created Joyride by himself from scratch. But as it turns out, he actually partnered with an existing company to bring his vision to life, and some fans were not happy about this, with a Reddit post reading, "Does anyone else feel weird that Ryan Tran is positioning Joyride as brand new, but it's been around since 2008, and he's the new chief creative officer? Was so excited from the launch video and brought the tester pack right away. But then I saw this post from AMC of the Joyride candy that they already sell, and got looking into the history of the company. Looks like they've been around since 2008, but they're sort of wiping their history from the internet. However, this is where Ryan's impeccable reputation came in handy, as another fan quickly came to his rescue, reading, "I don't see anything deceptive here. New candy line would absolutely require partnership with someone who has a history of doing it. He partnered with an existing company to work in creating this specific new line." This comment also linked to a Forbes article that revealed how Ryan had been working to develop the strip's flavors, size, and packaging for a long time before its launch, and that he was the one who conceived its marketing and launch strategy as well. In the end, what matters most is that Joyride delivered on everything it promised, earning him the love and appreciation of his audience. The next YouTuber product on this list, however, can only be described as nothing more than a scam. I'm of course talking about Logan Paul's CryptoZoo. In the fall of 2021, Logan announced his very own crypto project called CryptoZoo.
Thing that I'm most excited for, and this is the first time I've ever said anything about this. For the last 6 months, I've been working on my own NFT project. I think there needs to be a fresh take, and this project that I have is that fresh take.
This was going to be an NFT-based game where people could buy digital eggs, hatch NFTs of rare animal hybrids, and then cash out with more money than they put in.
You started by buying this crypto token called Zoo, which is their in-game currency, and you use Zoo coins to then buy egg NFTs, which you can then hatch to become animals. You then can breed those two animals to become hybrid animals. For example, if you breed a gorilla and a kitten, you get a Gore Kitty. And the more rare the NFT, the higher the daily yield of Zoo tokens that animal earns you every day. Theoretically, it works almost like passive income. You can then burn your animal NFTs to release the Zoo they earned back to you, and from there you can invest it into eggs or just cash out.
Logan even promised handmade art for many of the animal hybrids, like this cross between a penguin and a shark. All of this sounded quite promising to people who were already interested in crypto and NFTs, leading to millions of Zoo tokens being sold before the game was even launched. Unfortunately, this would end up being one of the worst financial decisions for most of these investors, because in a surprise to no one, the supposed game was nowhere near finished, and all the NFTs investors bought were nothing more than worthless JPEGs. This led to a sharp decline in the Zoo token's price, making the investors lose millions.
How much did you guys make from CryptoZoo?
I lost around $50,000 in CryptoZoo.
I lost $40,000.
I lost around $15,000 US.
I lost $25,000.
$120,000.
$500,000 Australian, which is $500,000.
In December of 2022, YouTube investigator CoffeeZilla made a series of videos exposing Logan for scamming his own fans for millions of dollars, to which Logan responded by insulting CoffeeZilla and threatening to sue him.
He is a lopsided journalist with an agenda, and he's nothing more than the Keemstar of crypto and finance. You still published a defamatory hit piece, fully knowing I was innocent, just so you could enrich yourself in your $10 million studio. Sharp, but deeply unethical, dangerously misleading, and illegal. I suggest you use the money you got from pumping your Patreon to hire a good lawyer. You're gonna need it.
After a massive wave of backlash, Logan ended up apologizing to CoffeeZilla and also promised a partial refund to the victims of CryptoZoo.
I called him, I apologized. My initial response to his series was that of fire and ego.
Not only that, Logan also pledges a $1.3 million refund plan for people who bought his NFTs.
I am personally committing 1,000 ETH to this, which is about $1.3 million.
However, it's 2024 now, and Logan is back to his usual scammer antics. The promised refunds are still nowhere near completion, and worst of all, he's also suing CoffeeZilla for quote defamation, which is odd, considering Logan himself agreed with CoffeeZilla's investigation in his apology video.
Logan Paul is suing me for CryptoZoo, only a year after he thanked me for it. Rather than pay back his victims fully, Logan would rather publicly humiliate himself in court by accusing me of defaming him. He's hired 5 lawyers to sue me, which he hopes will stop me from exposing him again.
So Logan not only scammed his own fans for millions, but is now also trying to ruin the life of the person who exposed his true colors. This is a textbook example of how not to launch a product as a YouTuber, crypto or otherwise. On the other hand, the screwdriver from Linus Tech Tips is a prime example of doing everything right and still earning millions. Linus is one of, if not the most highly respected tech YouTuber on the platform, and for a good reason. He's been providing helpful tech advice and product reviews since the early days of YouTube. And aside from a few mishaps, which he has come back from, he's had a near controversy-free career so far. So when Linus, a YouTuber focused on computers, announced his own custom screwdriver that could be used to work on computers, people were excited to say the least. However, this minor excitement turned into full-on anticipation when Linus uploaded a 30-minute video going into the details of the product and talking about how they spent 3 years perfecting its design.
The factory that we were using was bought out by a large tool maker, and they were now prioritizing, naturally, their own tools. So long story short, we got fed up with their terrible communication and delays, not to mention their terrible quality, and we changed to a different factory in China.
He showed the amount of work and passion his team is putting in to ensuring that the quality of the screwdriver matches buyers' expectations, increasing the hype even further. And this is where the Linus screwdriver distinguished itself from CryptoZoo, Beast Burger, and other overhyped YouTuber products. Because when it launched, it was everything people wanted and more, with a user on Twitter stating, "After 2 weeks with the LTT screwdriver, here's my thoughts. It is, without doubt, the finest screwdriver, the finest handheld tool even, that I've ever used. To everyone's involvement in its creation, you should be very proud. Linus had delivered on his promises, and it paid off big time. LTT managed to sell over 15,000 units in less than an hour, and nearly 100,000 units in the first week alone. At its retail price of $70 USD, that's nearly $7 million in just 1 week. This price tag was a bit high for some folks, but the overall quality of the product made it worth the price, since almost everyone who bought the thing ended up loving it. However, we can't say the same for the next product on our list, which became the subject of online mockery because of its unusually high price. In November of 2023, one of the biggest female streamers, Pokimane, launched her own cookie brand Myna Snacks, with a lineup of cookies being called Midnight Mini Cookies. However, what should have been nothing more than an influencer releasing a completely inoffensive product turned into a huge controversy for Poki, and she has no one to blame for this but herself. The cookies were priced at $28 for 16 ounces, which many thought was a bit too expensive. People also found out that Pokimane's cookies were a slightly different white-labeled version of cookies sold at Costco for almost a third of the price. This led to a small amount of backlash on social sites like Twitter. I agree, you don't have to buy it, but it's hardly a luxury lol, just repackaged midnight cookies with Pokimane branding slapped on. Can get the exact same cookies from Costco for cheap with more cookies per pack too, lol. While she was getting criticized, the drama was mostly limited to a subset of her viewers. Leaving the issue alone would have resulted in it blowing over within a week and getting buried under the endless social media content cycle. But instead, Pokimane managed to make the situation significantly worse, with a single statement on the matter.
When people are like, oh my god, $28 for cookies? It's 4 bags. That's $7 a bag. I know math is hard when you're an idiot, but like if you're a broke boy, just say so.
Calling your own viewers quote idiots and quote broke boys in an ego-driven rant was a step too far, and the internet was livid, with a comment reading, "Poki calling everyone stupid in math when she can't properly price a product, a genius she is," as well as just a perfect example of the phrase when someone shows you who they are, what she said or what she will say doesn't really matter. This is who she is. All of this resulted in Myna cookies getting labeled as one of the worst influencer products ever made, regardless of their actual quality. After all, you don't have to insult your audience to make them buy your latest product. If it has a good value proposition, people would want to buy it on their own and love every second of using it, which is exactly the case with the Babish cookware set. Even if you're not a fan, you've likely come across one of the cooking videos where a headless man recreates one of the most iconic dishes from movies and TV shows. For those of you who don't know, Binging with Babish is one of the largest cooking channels on YouTube, with over 10 million subscribers to its name. After many years of teaching people how to cook tasty food,
it's time to finally make the all-time most requested dish on this show, the Krabby Patty.
Babish finally decided to launch his own lineup of cookware, one that combines high-quality materials at a reasonable price. His 2 knife sets, for example, have a 4.9 and 4.8 star rating on Amazon, and the reviews are filled with nothing but praise, reading, "I absolutely love the set and would give them 10 stars if it was an option," as well as, "I was gifted a Babish knife and I love it. This year I bought a couple of sets to give out at Christmas, very good quality and a great price." The cookware lineup itself is high quality, and having the logo of a beloved YouTuber definitely helps. That said, the internet will let you know if you launched a bad product, no matter how beloved or respected you are as a YouTuber. On the 24th of September 2024, Marquise released his latest product, a subscription-based wallpaper app, and the internet lost its collective mind. And for valid reasons. Ignoring the fact that a paid wallpaper app is an absurd idea in 2024, what made most people angry was its subscription price of $50 a year for wallpapers. There were also a bit too many ads in the free version. A big selling point of the app was that all of the wallpapers were created from real artists and not AI, and yet people quickly found wallpapers that looked like AI art. This was a big shock for long-term fans. They were confused why someone as successful as MrBeast would need to rely on such a cash grab to earn a little bit more. However, before things could get too out of hand, MrBeast posted a video titled "Let's Talk About Panels." In this video, MrBeast did what no other big YouTuber with a hated product has done so far. He took responsibility.
I didn't really explain anything. I didn't explain the UI, what was in it, the point of the app, and most importantly, why it had a friggin' $50 price tier. And so appropriately, the entire internet was very disappointed, and that's 100% on me.
He also took the advice of fans and immediately started fixing issues like lowering the price, reducing ads, and fixing the invasive app permissions. This video received an overwhelmingly positive reception from viewers. And just like that, the massive controversy surrounding the app vanished into thin air, with this commenter putting it best. Messed up? Check. Accepted his mistake? Check. Apologized without excuses? Check. Reduced 85% of the cost? Check. Made it better? Check. I don't think he deserves any more hate after this. This also set a gold standard for how YouTubers should address a bad product launch moving forward.